Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Black Logic. Now, before we get started on your news update for this evening, there's something I want to address that's been going viral online. Different people from immigrant communities have come out and made videos, either directly or indirecting, speaking to Black folk about their non-support of illegal immigrants being inside of America. This is a conversation we've been having for quite some time, is that foundational Black Americans, U.S. freedmen, Black Americans, have been here before the inception of America, and we are true Americans. We've been here. Our history dates back to 1526, and even those indigenous Blacks that were here prior to that. The problem with that is a lot of immigrants believe that we're going to jump on board and protest with them for them to be illegally in the country. That's not something that Black Americans stand for you to be somewhere illegally, because we uphold the Constitution. As a matter of fact, we're learning more about the Constitution. So it's very easy to kind of get wrapped up emotionally to support something that is illegally to the country and has been illegal to the country. It's not like Donald Trump all of a sudden says that, oh, you can just walk inside, you can't no longer walk inside of America. It's always been illegal. Okay, so when you trespass on another country's land, that is illegal. Every country around the world has that particular law. But I want to respond to something after you guys hear this. But if you guys have small children, anyone under the age of 18, there's a couple of profanity words in here. So if you have church ears, I understand if you want to mute it while this video comes up. But there are some things I really want to point out about how people change their stance when they don't get what they want, knowing what they wanted was illegal in the first place, and how they misinterpret the true cause of what people are stating. Listen in.
This is the time for all the minorities, all the movements, all the working class to come together and really build power and really fight against the fascism that's been here, but finally popping its head out and being loud and proud about it. And unless we do something, really come together, it's gonna get real bad.
Sounds good.
This entire time thank you, Volvo. This entire time I was on mute. My apologies. But I wanted to say here is that during the Black Lives Matter movement, not the organization, we understand that the organization is fraudulent, and they're getting sued. But we're talking about the movement. And that whole movement was about that all life is equal, but we had to raise the bar on Black folk because other non-Black people wasn't looking at Black life as equal to theirs. So we were stating Black Lives Matter. Some people try to counter that and deflect it with all lives matter, LGBT lives matter, all these other people lives matter. Yeah, we know that. But the point is that we were getting killed by race soldiers with badges and without at a higher rate. Because when you guys look at the data, I know people love to live in their perspective. People love to live in their fear. But when you present the evidence that Black folk were getting killed by non-Black folk, okay, listen in, Black folk were getting killed by non-Black folk because someone's going to use the stereotypical Black on Black crime. No, by non-Black people, according to the FBI and the Department of Justice. So now what's going to occur is that people are not going to believe the FBI or DOJ statistics until Cash Patel and other people get in office, like, oh, well, that was under a fraudulent government. But when we circle back to this video here, he speaks about this post-election of Donald Trump. But the creator here is going to show you pre-election Donald Trump. And I think that's very significant for you guys to see here.
Good, bitch, but we should have did this November 5th. But might I remind you, you said this.
Vote for, if you want Donald Trump to win, say that. Bitch, I will vote for Satan if I have to. I don't care who we got to deal with for the next 4 years, as long as you motherfuckers know that you fucked up and you guys are gonna deal with some type of repercussion for what happened for the last 10 months. I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that bitch does not win and the Democrat Party loses the election. Fuck you guys. This is the time for all the minorities, all the movements, all the working class to come together and really build power and really fight against the fascism that's been here, but finally popping its head out and being loud and proud about it. And unless we do something, really come together, it's gonna get real bad.
Sounds good, bitch.
So I just want to cover that because, and I'm gonna leave it alone after this, I assure you. The reason why they don't have a lot of black support in these endeavors, because for a very long time, there's been pockets of America that we've been stating there's no black-brown coalition. If anything, people who are from Central America, South America, of Hispanic and Latino heritage have been very racist against black folk. Not all of them, but a large enough percentage for it to be effective, where a lot of black people are calling out the racism towards them from the Latin community. And this is not conjecture. This is not rhetoric. These are just true statements that we all know and love. Now, when you guys have ever tried to apply for a job, let's take construction, because again, most of the illegal immigrants that come over that are men goes right into construction. You can go online and find multiple videos of black men stating that they got fired, not because they did anything wrong or they operated a piece of equipment, ineffectively or wrongfully. Is that because they started to hire cheaper labor? As they got fired for miscellaneous reasons, they started to hire illegal immigrants and put them on a job and was paying them a third of the price. Okay, I'm a skilled, licensed operator of large equipment. You have to pay me at least $25. That's the going rate in this state. Well, they have people who are legally in the country and they're paying them $9 an hour, $10 an hour. So I know a lot of information has been coming out from Florida that there's going to be over 500,000 construction jobs opening up. And that's a good thing. So Americans, not just black Americans, but Americans in general, can go get those jobs and start contributing to society, as well as the infrastructure of your local areas, as well as America. But this is why no one's pounding the pavement for this. That's why no one's pounding the pavement. Like, again, black Americans are not for people being illegally in the country. Yes, you're going to have some Democrats, some liberals. You're going to have a couple of people that come out in support of that. But why you believe the mass majority of us are like, because we're not for that mess. Absolutely not. Here's your news. I don't know if you guys are aware that Donald Trump got blocked from stopping the federal government employee buyout. Remember, he was offering them 7 months of pay if they were to quit by the day, but a federal judge blocked this notion. So there's a sign of relief for those federal workers. Again, I am for the clear, concise transparency of our government and make sure we stop fraud, waste, and abuse. But I don't believe people should be losing their job just yet, because again, you have to diagnose an issue. You have to thoroughly diagnose an issue. Some of the things, again, I applaud the Department of Government Efficiency as well as Donald Trump. There's some other things, again, are very controversial. We have to take a step back. We have to take our time just before we start to gut the government. Okay, they stated that they're going to cut government entities down from 400 to 99. I just feel like they're going to group a lot of government business into one another, or have them in a hierarchy where they're not standalone. You have more government oversight. They may think it more efficient, but that's going to cause for people to have 4, 5, 6, 7 jobs. You know how it is. You guys, as you've been in the workforce, the job position state you're going to file paper. But while you're there, you're filing paper, you're printing paper, you're scanning paper. Okay, so you're doing all these other jobs. So again, we have to look out for that as well. But this is a good thing temporarily until we really find out what's going on. Now, I know you guys have been hearing about Donald Trump, that he wants to, in a sense, clean out Gaza and take it over. And he's aiming to relocate over 2 million Palestinians and redevelop the area into the Middle Eastern Riviera. Now, of course, this particular proposal has been met with strong opposition from Egypt and Jordan, who are being asked to absorb the displaced population. And both nations, heavily reliant on U.S. aid, find themselves in a precarious position. Because again, if you are relying on U.S. aid, we're in your back pocket. And you're deploying us for support, resources. So again, is there a deal to be made here? Do the American people agree? Of course, I can't speak for all of us, but I'm totally against this. Of displacing almost 2 million people and being in a land that has never been at peace. This particular land, once people started to populate it, there's no history that predates modern writing that tell us that there's never been peace in the Middle East. I mean, ever since you and I were probably born, there's always been conflict in the Middle East. America should not get involved. We should really put on our America First hats. Pretty sure somebody probably making America First hats. Not MAGA, America First. I think everyone can accept American First. Whether it be Democrats or Republicans. America First. No, we want LGBT and transgender rights first. No, we want billions of dollars to go to foreign aid first. I don't see any true American, at least, thinking about other countries first and other causes except for your own. I mean, we should be a bit selfish, should we not? And I'm just asking questions for a friend. And the new Treasury director states that he is totally aligned with Elon Musk. He stated that me and Elon Musk don't have a problem. We are in full alignment. Because a lot of people had concerns over Deutsche access to a sensitive government payment system. But Director Besson assures that the Treasury payment infrastructure remains untouched. He emphasized that any decision to halt payment would originate from other agencies, not the Treasury itself. And currently, what people are not really understanding is that in some areas, the Deutsche organization only has read-only access. They can't stop payments. They can't freeze payments. They only have read-only access like Medicare and Medicaid. They have access to the systems, but they can only read only. Again, this is just for them to comb over, investigate, cost-based analysis, look at their books essentially and see if there's any fraud, waste, or abuse, okay? Or any payouts, which is still a form of fraud, waste, and abuse. I don't know if you guys been hearing this story right here about Hegseth Venmo is on display, and it has been very, very embarrassing, they're stating. Because Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's public Venmo account had revealed a network of contacts, including Washington insiders, defense contractors, and healthcare executives. This exposure raises questions about privacy and the potential implication of such association with the highest level of government. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Venmo. Venmo is a payment system, and you can also message back and forth through Venmo. I believe I have a Venmo account. I haven't used it for a very long time, but again, we have all these ways to, pay friends and loved ones for services. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Venmo. You guys ever seen this? I just want to make you familiar. You can send and receive payment, pay with Venmo, payment for business. And then there's a network that you can tell other people in your network the money that you paid to a friend, and while you paid that particular money. I believe it's actually a good system because it keeps people honest. Now, if he was doing this, it's kind of open for the world to see and criticize your every move because, again, defense contractors, healthcare executives, I want to know the transaction. He probably hid the transactions because there's a toggle in there. You can state that you want friends in your network to see your transactions, or you want to hide your transactions, but they can still see your communication line. So again, probably not the best way to go about that. So Donald Trump is now talking about reforming the WHO, the World Health Organization, but he wants them to include an appointment to an American lead, for an American to lead the agency. He wants someone to be appointed American to lead the agency. And believe me, this move is part of a broader strategy to address perceived shortcomings in the WHO's handling of global health crisis and to ensure that the U.S. interests are adequately represented. Do we agree? Do I agree? I don't know. There's a lot of moves that Donald Trump is making that really has me questioning his bigger picture. What is your bigger picture here? It seems as though he is expanding America's global dominance. He's almost stating that no one can do it like America, like everybody else is trash. And again, this is my conjecture. I will admit, this is my conjecture. Again, he's doing a lot of great things. Then on the other hand, he's doing a lot of things that are not so great and very controversial and are stirring the pot. And that could be a good thing because we now see 10,000 troops on the Mexican border. So that was a good move. Now we're looking at other moves. And again, we do have to take the good with the bad. Unfortunately, I wish everything could just be good, but that's not the reality that we live in. But again, our global dominance, I want to go to other countries and experience that country. I want to experience their culture. I don't want global American dominance. I want America to be great. I want America to raise its status, but I do not want to have more American global dominance. I don't want to go to these other countries and the only thing you see are our restaurants, McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's. I don't want to see America in another country. Yeah, every now and again, an American store here kind of gives you comfort, but I want to experience that land. I don't want to go to Australia and go to Mickey D's. I want to go to the land down under Burger or something. I don't know. And again, those stores that are in those countries, I understand, is for people to experience America. In some regards, they do have their own flavors. Again, the partnership of restaurants in American stores or foreign international stores is great. But there's places I've been where it was so darn Americanized. You was like, okay, I don't mind a few American stores, but can I experience your culture? It's kind of like when you guys go on vacation to Mexico. And when you're going through the food buffet, they just have a bunch of Western food. You're like, where's the Mexican food? And they may have a little taco stand on your resort, but they don't really have their food. They have your food. I'm like, I came here to experience. I digress. Global dominance of America, we don't have to do it. We don't have to do it. This is actually good news. Sorry for the dim light there. U.S. productivity rises at solid pace, helping labor limit costs. Yeah, this is actually a good thing. This can actually help out the job market and free up a lot of the costs of inflation so the feds can reduce the interest rates. This can be a really good thing. I don't think this is a bad thing at all. So again, hopefully a lot of jobs are being freed up and those unemployed Americans can essentially get back to work. We either be remotely or in person. Good evening, Volvo and Virginia V. So again, I believe that the things that Deutsche is doing primarily are good, but I think before we start cutting thousands of federal workers, again, there needs to be a diagnosis to make sure government systems still stand. We can't just go and rip the legs from under the table. And again, they're doing things very quickly. And it's a good thing that there's checks and balances and that the judge blocked the government employee buyout. So again, I do agree with that temporarily until we find out the root of the matter and then proceed from there. Until he proceeds from there. But just like anything else, I want to inform you guys of someone who's very dear and near and honorable to our hearts. And you may not even know this person, but I'm pretty sure you hold them close to your head and sometimes even to your heart. And where am I getting at with that? I am talking about no other than the inventor of VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. I'm talking about Marion Croak, because every time you make a call using WhatsApp, Zoom, FaceTime, or Skype, or Google Video, you're using a technology that completely changed the way the world communicates. But did you know that the Black woman behind the game-changing innovation is often left out of history? Meet no other than Dr. Marion Croak, the brilliant engineer and inventor who developed Voice over Internet Protocol, the technology that allows us to make phone calls over the internet instead of traditional phone lines. And there's a lot of people whose phones get cut. You don't have a signal because T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon cut your bill off. But as long as you have a Wi-Fi signal, you can still make a phone call. That's Marion Croak. Thanks to her technology. Her work turned the internet into the primary way people communicate worldwide. Yet her name is rarely mentioned in the same breath as other tech pioneers. So today we set the record straight. Marion Croak helped shape the digital world. Born in 1955, Marion Croak displayed a passion for technology and innovation from an early age. She went to earn a bachelor's degree from Princeton University, a PhD in quantitative analysis and psychological from the University of Southern California. At a time when Black women in STEM faced extreme barriers, Croak pushed forward, determined to change the world through technology. In the 1990s, phone calls relied entirely on traditional telephone networks, which were expensive and inefficient. Croak had a revolutionary idea. What if voice communication could be transmitted over the internet instead of phone lines? What if people could make calls from computers, reducing costs and increasing efficiency? What if the internet-based calling could connect people across the globe in an instant? These questions led her to her groundbreaking work in Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP, a technology that converts voice into digital signals and transmit them over the internet. Long distance and international calls became cheaper and more accessible. Apps like Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, WhatsApp became possible. Businesses, schools, and families worldwide can now communicate in real time over the internet. Without Marion Croak, modern online communication wouldn't exist as we know it. When VoIP is her most famous contribution, Croak has been a powerhouse of innovation for decades. She holds over 200 patents, including technology for text-based donations, which help revolutionize digital philanthropy. Improvements in online streaming and call clarity, making virtual meetings more efficient. Advancements in network security and reliability, ensuring safe internet communications. Her work has touched nearly every aspect of modern internet infrastructure, yet her name is still overlooked in the history of tech innovation. Despite her brilliance and groundbreaking contributions, Croak, like many Black inventors, faced racism, sexism, and exclusion in the tech industry. Her work was often downplayed or credited to male colleagues. As a Black woman in a white male-dominated field, and now Asian, she had to fight for recognition. Tech history books still fail to fully acknowledge her impact. But she persisted, becoming a role model for Black women in STEM and breaking barriers in corporate leadership. After decades at AT&T Labs, where she pioneered VoIP, Croak joined Google in 2014. There, she has continued to lead innovations in AI, internet reliability, and global communication networks. She is currently a vice president at Google, shaping the future of internet technology. She became one of the first Black women inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 2022. She continues mentoring young Black women in STEM, ensuring the next generation of tech leaders. Every one online call, every Zoom meeting, every FaceTime session exists because of her work. She has made communication cheaper, faster, and more accessible for billions of people. I mean, $8 billion to be exact. Marian Croak is not just a tech innovator. She is a revolutionary, a force in global communication. So the next time you make a VoIP call, voice over the internet, or you join in a Zoom meeting or Teams meeting, or send a text-based donation, or even listen to your favorite influence like myself, your favorite YouTuber like myself, I want you guys to think of Dr. Marian Croak, because she was the innovator and inventor behind this technology that we all use today. And this is the main apparatus that a lot of us are using it. So without Dr. Marian Croak, there would be no voice over the internet protocol. There would be no WhatsApp and Zoom and Teams and FaceTime. It'd just be us, hamsters, running on a wheel. Thank you for joining me this evening. If you're new to Black Logic, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You guys have a great and wonderful evening. This is Black Logic.